Hi students! I wanted to record a quick video for you. I received a question from one student about the formatting of the memo and the appendix for the documentation review assignment. I know from previous semesters that students always find it useful to see examples from students from previous semesters. So I'm going to show you two examples from last semester that both received very high A grades. And you'll see that they do things a little bit differently, but they both were very successful. So here's the first one. In the standard memorandum format, you'll see that the student provides an opening overview and tells me what the two examples the student is using are: a Microsoft article using the VLOOKUP function, and the user guide for refrigerator, 3, and the use and care manual for household humidifier. So then the student has internal headings. There's primary and secondary headings for each section. Microsoft Excel, and then there's a description and discussion section for that. The whirlpool side-by-side description and discussion. What's happening here actually, sorry, my scroll function was too fast there. Down here at the bottom, this is actually called an orphan header because it's a heading that doesn't actually have the content going with it. For design reasons, it would have been better if this was actually on the next page. But I do want to point out that the appendices are mentioned in the body of the writing. It should both be capitalized, Appendix A, Figure 3, and this is Appendix A, Figure 1. This A should be capitalized. But if we scroll down, I can just skip down this way. You can see that the student goes through this for each example. The last one was the warm steam vaporizer in discussion, and then moves on to the appendices. Appendix A, and they're clearly labeled Figure 1, Figure 2, Figure 3. And we have Appendix B, and it says what it is, whirlpool side-by-side, Figure 1, and it's described as well what I'm looking at here so that I know. And then we have Figure 2, and then the third appendix, Vicks Warm Steam Vaporizer, Figure 1, Figure 2. Okay, so that's the first example I wanted to show you. That gives you a sense of how this memo was designed, and it was very thoroughly done in how the student used the appendices. Okay, here's the second example. And let me scroll up. This student also included a brief introduction and then went through the NACRA sailing sailboat assembly manual, and then the Android developer documentation, and the 2018 Ford Escape owner's manual. You'll also see that the student used primary in italics and secondary level headings. This is not quite as clear as the approach that the previous student used with the primary and secondary level headings. One thing the student also didn't do was name the 3 examples in the opening section, and that is actually very useful to do. But I just want to scroll through, and you can see the extent to which the student provided analysis in each of these sections. There's the appendices. Now, these are not listed as Appendix A, B, and C like the first student did. The first student's approach was a bit clearer because they were given with an alphabetic association, Appendix A, Appendix B, Appendix C, and then the student referred to those in the body of the memo. But nevertheless, there's the first one was for the sailboat assembly manual. Second one is Android developer documentation, and the third is Ford Escape owner's manual. But I did want to point out that you can see just in viewing this video that there are some differences between the second one and the first one I showed, and the first one is just excellent in terms of length of analysis and depth of analysis, as well as clarity of the organization of the student's document itself. It's very easy to use and very easy to follow. So hopefully this was helpful to you.